Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of United Talks Podcast. And today, we're going to be doing the match review for the game between Manchester United and Bournemouth at Old Trafford. And it was a game back and forth for almost 100 minutes, basically. Like, I know we did them live watch along, and I talked about gave you my thoughts and feelings in the game, and this just kind of gives you a review of the game. It was a game back and forth, basically. So we'll start with the starting lineup because basically, I feel we need to talk about some of these things. I feel we need to talk about what has happened in the game, and we need to talk about how to move forward, with this game and stuff, and what has happened and what can happen and what should be happening and everything in between. So we need to talk about the lineup. We need to talk about who started the game and where it went from there. So basically, looking at the lineup, when everybody saw the lineup, basically everybody saw that Man United were going to start with a back three of Aiden Heaven, Lenioro, and Luke Shaw. And then obviously, we when I saw it, I basically was like, okay, this is basically what Man United would intend to do. Aiden Heaven gets a back-to-back start for the third game consecutively. Then we also had a situation where Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes were playing in two defensive midfield roles, or 2 6s, or 1 6 and 8, or whatever you call it. And then Amad and Diogo Dalot play as wing backs, with Amad playing as a right wing back and Diogo Dalot playing as a left wing back. So with that, you now say, okay, Brian Bumo and Mount play as a 2-10s, and Cunha plays as a striker. And then you can switch it up and all of that. Mount is going to be like the disruptor and everything in between. But then you have that, you have the situation where basically you look at the lineup and you say to yourself, this lineup is strong enough to be able to beat Bournemouth. But this was the poorest performance from the defense and the goalkeeper, because he's part of the defense. Not blaming him for that, but that was a poor performance from the defense. You look at the situation where, as the game started, you expected, guys like Euro, Heaven, who are pretty young, with Luke Shaw, to pick up the pace on things, to be able to, read games better and stuff. And then, yeah, we scored the first goal, 13 minutes, no doubt. Amad does a good job in following up with the chance he gets to try to score, right? And then after scoring that goal, you're like, okay, yeah, let's kick on from here now. Let's take it to the next level. Let's yeah, like I said, kick on from here. So we scored in 13 minutes, and United, it was a dream, right? It was a joy, a dream start for Ahmad, scoring in the opening stages of the game. Also had a situation where he scored, I think, his first Old Trafford goal, I think. Oh no, not him. But he scored his first goal in Premier League at Old Trafford this season. And obviously, this is like, okay, the going away goal where you expected him to kind of score the goal, and then we move on to the next thing. And lo and behold, United enjoyed that dream start. And then Anton Semenyo brought Bournemouth back. And now, if you look at that, Anton Semenyo scored in the 40th minute. I mean, from 13 to 40, we kind of had control of the game. We stifled them. We stopped them high energy. We're missing chances. And I was hoping, I'm like, oh, let these chances missed not come back to bite us. That was what I was saying. Basically, on the live stream, I was, as you all know, with ITN always coming on to comment on stuff, and we're having conversations in the chat. And I was saying, oh, right, I believed that we could, do something in this game and all of that. And lo and behold, Semenyo scores in the 40th minute after a miscommunication between Mason Mount and Luke Shaw. After a miscommunication between Mason Mount and Luke Shaw. And I'm like, oh, so how do we move from here? What do we do from here? Where do we move or go to from here? And then lo and behold, we don't get the chance. Yeah, we don't get the chance. And lo and behold, heading into the 45th minute, Bruno Fernandes swings an amazing corner kick, and Casemiro brings us, as his close range header just kind of takes us into the halftime with a 2-1 win. And then we have them coming into the second half. We have the, how do I say this 5-minute spell when we switch off. We have this 5-minute spell when we switch off, and everything's like, oh my days, what is going on? Why are we doing this? Why are we playing the way we are playing and all of that? So we switched off, and I don't want to say as usual, but we switched off. But if you look at it, we have had these kinds of spells. You look at our games against Bournemouth, because thankfully we didn't have those spells against Sunderland, or maybe Sunderland they finished the chances. We had that spell against Bournemouth, against Nottingham Forest. No, let's start with Brighton. The 5-minute spell in the second half where we lost concentration and connection. But thankfully against Brighton we're 3 goals up already. And then Brighton scored 2 quick goals. And then we scored a 4th one to make it 4-3 and 4-2 and ended the game. Right? Killed the game. But unsurprisingly, Eddie Heaven was in that game. Created an assist in that game as well. But it looks like basically we have those 5-minute spells all too often where the other team takes control of things. Then we also had the same situation when you come to the game against Nottingham Forest, where we had that 5-minute spell in the second half when they scored and made it 2-2. And then we had the same against Tottenham Hotspur, where they had that 5-minute spell as well when they made the game 2-2. When they made the game 2-1, and then we made it 2-2. Then we had that 5. Okay, so in Forest we went up 1-0. They scored and made it 1-1 and then 2-1. And then obviously in the game against which the next game we had, I think we had that 5-minute spell against Everton and conceded 1 goal at Old Trafford, and that was it. So it's like, why do we always keep having those spells? When you look at, let's just historically look at the Everton game. No, let's kind of go to the fixtures, and then we can get a sense of the spells. So the Brentford game, we had that 5-minute spell, lost 2-1. Well, losing 2-1, and then the goal, the third goal they scored. And then obviously we come to the Sunderland game, we won 2-0. The Liverpool game, we won 2-1. We had that 5-minute spell as well in that Liverpool where they scored that 1 goal. And then it felt like that was that time the Gakpo scored in the 78th minute after scoring in the 2nd minute. And then in the 84th minute, we win with Harry Maguire, with a Harry Maguire goal. Then the Brighton game, 4-2. Nottingham Forest, we had the 5-minute spell between 48 and 50. So it's like between 45 and 50 when Morgan Gibbs-White and Savona scored to make it 2-2, to make it 2-1, and then we finish it off with a 2-2 win from Amad, 81, 2-2 draw from Amad at 81 minutes. And then against Spurs, we had the 5-minute spell between 84 and 90. That's the sad thing about it. We're 1 goal up in 32nd minute in the first half. We're winning the first half. Then in the second half, between 84 and 90, we had that 5-minute spell of losing concentration. And then Matheus de Ligt came and saved the day after a Bruno set piece again. Then we come to Everton. We had that 5-minute spell in the first half. And then we just kind of lost concentration and lost it. And I think the Everton game was kind of like an outlier in that one, because it looked like we kind of, blew our opportunity and everything. And then we come to the Crystal Palace game. We had 2 set pieces. We scored Xerxes and Mount and all of that. But in the first half, obviously, it was a mistake from Euro, and then we considered a pen, but it was a game. It was a good game. What I would say is it was a good game because Palace didn't score against us, except for a set piece, and then we used 2 set pieces. So you could call that a game of set pieces. Then we come to West Ham, and then we were leading 1-0, 58th minute, and then 83rd minute, after a couple substitutions and long balls and set pieces, they score us in the 83rd minute. And then we come to Wolverhampton Wanderers. We were steamrolling Wolverhampton. We were We were scoring. We already scored in the 25th minute. It was 1-0. Coming to halftime, we had that 5 minute spell towards the end of the first half and some part of the beginning of the second half where Wolverhampton Wanderers scored. And then you come and then Mbomo scores in 51st minute, and then you have Mount scoring in the 62nd minute, and then you also have Bruno Fernandes scoring the pen that finishes off the game. Now, we need to talk about it because the truth is, I've seen some content creators say, oh, that Ruben Amorim's tactics cost us the game. Like, you guys, some of you guys are the ones that said he should change, right? But in this one, yeah. Now the goals that they scored, like I said, 2 quick-fire goals straight after the restart from Evan Nielsen and Marcos Tavernier, turned the game on its head. But United responded to 2 more goals, one after the other from Bruno and then Matheus Cunha in the front of his Trafford end that made it 4-4. Now, and 4-3. Now we're leading 4-3, but then Junior Kropi comes in, and I said this during the live watch along. If you watch me, and I think I think the channel I was watching the game seemed to be like they always focused on showing replays. So we spend more time watching replays than watching the game, and then by the time we want to watch the game, phases of plays have happened. Junior Kropi comes in, boom, 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 boom. He gets a chance, deflection. Amad's trying to defend, and before you know it, he's through on goal, and he scores and celebrates 4-4. Now, it was an electric first half, no doubt, but it was now more of a goal at both ends. We lost the second half typically because we were 2-1 up in the first half, and then obviously they scored 3 goals in the second half and we scored only 2. So we need to be able to finish second halves all the more better. While I was live, a lot of people were saying, oh, why are we still using 3 defenders? Why don't we change them? Like, are you guys really watching the same game I'm watching? Because at some point it felt like Ruben Amorim switched to a 4-3-3. It also felt like it switched to a 4-4-2. But like I said, it all depends on the system. It all depends on how you approach the game. And it is dependent on the right wing, right-sided centre-back. If the right-sided centre-back pushes forward a little bit, then it looks like a 4-4-2, but that's because of the way we are attacking. If and Amad was high for the most part, and then obviously Amad I would blame to some extent for one of the goals or 2 of the goals for switching off. Same thing with Licha Martinez and all that. So as we're talking about that, let's quickly just go straight to the player ratings. So we start with the player ratings for Manchester United for Manchester United facing Bournemouth at Old Trafford, where Lamans starts in net, and basically Lamans didn't have much. If I should say so myself, didn't have much to do. Basically 8 of 17 accurate passes, right? And what are we going to say that he is the one thing? Well, he saved us in the first half. Okay, so I'll say it's a 5.5 performance. Or he saved us in the second half, rather, not first half. In the second half, in the first half, he had some saves, some mad saves. But in the second half, and even considering that set piece, the set piece goal that was scored, he had 1 diving save, 4 saves in the box. He had 4 throws, 7 recoveries, 1 and then 26 touches. So 5 saves in total. He considered 4 goals. XG on target face was 3.23. So he kind of faced 3 goals and 4 shots on average. And he didn't he prevented, his XG prevented was 0.77. So it's a 5.5. One of the very few poor performances, barring the saves in the first half and 3 saves in the second half that really could have lost us the game if he didn't make it. So maybe 5.5. Next person is Lenny Yoro. 69 minutes sub. He was subbed off at 69th minute. Yoro wasn't having a good game. Overall, if you look at it, Yoro wasn't having a good game at all. If you take into cognizance how he played and how the game panned out, Yoro wasn't having a good game at all. Played 69 minutes, basically 23 of 31 touches, accurate passes, 74%. He also had 45 touches in the box, 45 touches in total in the game, 5 passes into the final third, and 1 of 4 accurate long balls. So Lenny Yoro basically didn't have a good game. And if we were to analyze his gameplay all through, a few defensive contributions here and there, which is what we're going to look at. One of the reasons why when I look at these things, I always look at defensive contributions. So his clearances were 6, his interceptions were 3, recoveries 1, duels 2, defensive contributions 7. You can see that and you say, okay, that's a 6.0 performance. But yeah, Euro was on the back foot a few, like it felt like our back line didn't have pace. And then you go to Aiden Heaven. Yeah, Aiden Heaven was a bit slow in the first half, was slow off the box. But he's a young lad. He's gonna come up. Same thing I said with Euro. The young lad, the chance is gonna come. He's gonna eventually learn. He's gonna eventually grow and stuff. Heaven 6.0 as well. Luke Shaw played until the 90th minute, and obviously that mistake leading to the goal as well, miscommunication, not able to clear the ball, and Semenyo got the first. At least if Semenyo didn't score that goal, then we'll probably be saying a different story by now. Luke Shaw 6.0, yeah, very much straightforward with that. And then we go straight to our wing backs. Diogo Dalot, one of his better performances today. But in that one opportunity where he was supposed to track back, and then he was jogging back. I'm pretty sure maybe because he's tired and stuff, so he can't really say. But he jogged back, or he couldn't run as fast because the player ran through past him. And then you have someone like Bruno Fernandes basically running back and running ahead of him to actually try to block the ball, but they had the opportunity to score. And obviously, Diogo Dalot, I'm just giving overall game performance today, 7.5. And then you also have Bruno Fernandes. Let's skip him and we go to Casemiro. Casemiro today, amazing performance as well. Veteran leadership kind of performance. It's because of Diogo Dalot's not chasing back. Casemiro got the yellow card, and I think he probably is going to be missing the next game. Let's kind of pretty much look at what the next game is for Manchester United, and we shall see if Casemiro is going to miss that game. Yeah, I'm playing third place Villa at the time of the game. Let's see. It's looking like Casemiro might miss that game, or you're trying to avoid him missing the game. That's why they took him off at the 61st minute. Casemiro got a goal, 7.5 rating from me. Casemiro gets a goal, 7.5 rating from me. Pretty good, at least for scoring the goal, for leading from the front and all of that. And it goes to show that you can't take away his amazing performance and his rejuvenation this last season. Scoring goals, defending properly, intercepting, blocking chances and passing lanes, and all of that. Then you go to Amad, a bit up and down a little bit, like switching off when he needed to defend and stuff, but chasing back as well, defending properly. So overall performance gets an 8.5 from me. And then we go to Mason Mount. It was an okay game, one of his better games as well. His pressing in the first half was significant. Played the 69th minute. He gets a 7.0 from me. Did all things good, had chances, had a shot on goal as well, or two, and was involved in a lot of good things happen, especially in the first half, trying to press and win the ball and create and switch plays and stuff. Mason Mount's such a good player, man. So he gets a 7.5 rating from me. And then we go to Brandon Bumo. Brandon Bumo gets a 7.0 rating from me because I expected more from Bumo. Bumo missed a lot of chances. But looking at his stats, Bumo missed a lot of chances in the game. Like basically, if we're looking at like that, Bumo missed a lot of chances, and I was disappointed in his Bumo has been putting up poor performances for a couple of games now, despite the fact that he's scoring as well. He's our top scorer. But yeah, Bumo had a poor game today. Just looking at his stats here, he had 4 shots. He created 2 chances, no doubt. One of the chance creators of the game. He had 4 shots. He had 2 of 4 shot accuracy, which is 50%. He played 89 minutes, right? Then he had 43 touches. So, I mean, like for him, who is our outlet, 43 touches is not good enough, basically, considering all the past games he's been having over 50 to 80 touches in a game. Um, then he had his ground duels 4 of 8, aerial duels 1 of 5, which is 20%. So you can imagine. He was fouled twice, basically. He was dispossessed once. Then we look at his defensive contributions, 5, which is not, it is unlike Brian Mbumo. 5 defensive contributions, but also the shots that he blazed over the bar, blowing it wide, hitting the ball high, maybe being a bit too much. Yeah. Brian Mbumo gets a 7.0 from me. That's pretty much straightforward. Matheus Cunha, becoming the heartbeat of the team, basically gets an 8.5 rating from me. Basically, he scored a goal today, created chances for people, created an assist as well. If the ball touched his head, then he gets an assist. But obviously, Cunha, at some point towards the end of the first half, the second half, he basically was shooting sporadically, and I don't like the fact that he was always shooting. He had some shots on target as well. He had 3 chances created. He had 8 shots in total. I think he had the most shots in the game for every player that played over 45 minutes, or for every player that played 90 minutes. He had 4 block shots. He had 61 touches. So that's what I'm saying. Boomer had 43. He had 61. He was making things happen. Touches in the opposition box, he had 9. He had 2 of 4 successful dribbles. Passing final third, he had 3. Accurate long balls, he had 4 or 6. Basically recoveries, he had 7. I could see Cunha drop back a lot to help. And that was in the time when it seemed like Amorim changed to a 4-3-3, but it was looking like a 3-4-3, but then it was a 4-3-3, and then it looked like a 4-4-2 with Cunha playing as a left winger and all of that. So it's like ground duels won 5 of 9, 56%, put an absolutely good performance, was defending when needed. Aerial duels won 2 of 5, 40%, and all of that. Obviously, I don't expect him to win his aerial duels and everything in between. But I was particularly impressed by Cunha. He helped us get going in the game. Then you go to other players who came on. You have Ruben Amorim used all the 5 substitutions. You have Kobbie Mainoo. Yeah, another okay performance. I was complaining about him because obviously we had a lot of gaps in the midfield when Kobbie Mainoo came on. You have a lot of gaps in midfield when defending because obviously you're asking him to do the same thing that Casemiro does, and obviously there's no one that does it better than Casemiro, which means that we need a body in midfield. And the truth is, the media won't touch on that. And then we have Lisandro Martinez, who gets a 6.0 rating as well. Kobbie Mainoo 6.5. Lisandro Martinez. Okay, so with Kobbie Mainoo, let's go look at him. Played 29 minutes. I mean, more minutes now. 21 of 24 accurate passes, which is 88%. Yeah, quite right. Those accurate passes depends on where the passes were happening. Chances created 1. Defensive contributions 5. So you see, defensive contributions 5. And I look at that defensive contribution and I'm like, everybody in the team is supposed to have, especially from the midfield to the defense, is supposed to have at least 7 to 10 defensive contributions. It doesn't matter what your how much time you've played. I mean, we've had a situation where Kobbie Mainoo played only 13 minutes and got like 6 defensive contributions. He's played 29 minutes and he only had 5 defensive contributions. Passes in the final third, 4. Successful dribbles, 1 of 100%, and all of that. So without using stats, just the eye test, you could tell that we had a lot of space in the midfield. They ran through the middle and scored the goals through the middle. And you're like, that's the place where Casemiro, would help, especially in the defense and all of that. But it is what it is. One of those things that happens in the game and all of that. Then the next person on our list is Benjamin Sesko. Absolute beast of a performance today. Didn't have so many chances, but he created so many chances. He had 6 touches in total, but was dispossessed once, and that was the one he was trying to run with the ball. But he was alone, right? And then he had 2 recoveries. Like, for how many minutes did he play? He came on in the, I think he played 21 minutes. Accurate passes, 1 of 3, 30%. Obviously, for someone who's just come back from an injury. Defensive contributions, he had 2. And then also got the assist of an assist, but I'm not going to call that, just basically based on the fact that he tried to create a chance. And it was going to create that chance for Amad, and then obviously it was deflected and it fell to Cunha, and Cunha took his chance right off the bat, and we had an opportunity to score. Then you also have Patrick Dogu. Patrick Dogu came on in the 90th minute. Nothing to report, basically. Shizuki, same thing, 90th minute, nothing to report. Played maybe 8-9 minutes. Same thing with Patrick Dogu, 8-9-10 minutes, because there was 8 minute extra time, and those guys are trying to waste, for the most part, the time. And then after wasting the time, it falls back to us, or falls back on us to actually take full advantage of what's right in front of us. So yeah, it is what it is. It's one of those things. Overall, man of the match for this game is Bruno Fernandes. Basically, 1 goal and 1 assist. Our chance creator. Just taking a quick look at his stats. Bruno Fernandes had only 3 shots. And those 3 shots, 1 goal, 1 assist, 5 chances created. Accurate passes, 44 of 55. He also completed the most passes in the game, 44 in the match. That's Bruno Fernandes for you. Another thing is Bruno Fernandes created the most chances in the match, 5. What more do you want? This guy makes everything happen. He gets a 9.0 rating from me. Does everything. Tracks back. Now let's look at defensive contributions. You know why I looked like that? Bruno's defensive contributions, 10. 10. That is Bruno Fernandes. Captain Bruno Fernandes. Captain Bruno Magnifico Fernandes. Like, yeah, basically. You one for the record books. He did it against Wolves. They're like, oh, it's only Wolves. Arsenal couldn't do it against Wolves. Then he has done it against Bournemouth, put in a stellar performance, defensively and attacking as well, creating chances, scoring goals, created the assist. For those who want to see, says he likes to peddle his numbers. He created the assist from a corner kick for what's his name? For Casemiro to score. He had 80 touches in the game. Just reading you the stats here. Right? 80 touches in the game, 4 touches in the position box, right? 11 passes into the final third, 50% accurate crosses, 3 of 6, 29% accurate long balls. Yeah, because you're gonna try, right? 2 of 7. Corners, he had 3. Tackles, he had 2. Clearances, he had 5. Header clearances, he had 3. Recoveries, he had 3. He was dribbled past 4 times, obviously, because he's pressing high and hard, especially in the first half. And then 3 of 9, which is 30% ground dose 1. 3 of 6, 50% air dose 1. And all of that. But guess what? He had only 3 shots. 1 blocked one shot wide, and 1 shot directly at goal that he scored. So Bruno Fernandes gets the man of the match for me for this game. And then for ratings with regards to Ruben Amorim, I'll give Ruben Amorim a rating of, no, let's start with the team rating. Overall team rating, if you just do like the math and everything, 7.0. Overall team rating, could have won the game, could have defended better because our defense collapsed and all of that. Then if you give the manager's rating as well, you're going to say Ruben Amorim's rating falls to 7.0 as well. For him to have adapted, considering that we're losing players, trying out something that would work eventually when we are chasing a game. Like, you know, and when he was asked in press conference, he said, that's for you to figure out and all of that. But Amad kind of gave it away. I wish Amad didn't. Leave them in their mystery, leave them to be shrouded in the mystery of what did Amorim play. But then Amad kind of said it and cleared that and said, you know what, like, it's not a situation of playing 4-3-3 or 4-4-2 or whatever. The most important thing is that the system is not important. The most important thing is we're trying to win, right? And this is what we try to do. So yeah, credit to Amad, credit to the players, credit to Ruben Amorim for doing what he had to do to ensure that we try to get the win. Right now, the only record you can count is that we're unbeaten in 4 games, 4 games away, and we're unbeaten in 4 games consecutively. Yeah, unbeaten in 4 games away and unbeaten in 4 games consecutively. So a lot of unbeaten records here and there, but it is what it is. We need to take full advantages, take full advantage of opportunity right in front of us. At least try to get 5 wins on the Spain. At least for the sake of the United Strand, try to get five wins on the Spain, and then save this team the from its blushes and stuff. But it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. Thank you so much for all of you who have joined us in the live watch along. It was fun. While doing that, it was nice, to have to do the watch alongs and, build a community together. I have some system glitches that kind of led to some of the things being slow. I love, using stuff on OBS, and I installed the plugin and it's been pulling, a lot of resources from my system and dragging us back. So we're going to figure out another way to make it work and all of that. So, but yeah, thank you so much for joining. Thanks so much for liking, sharing, and subscribing. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. You don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Goodbye and God bless.